Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast, the show you need to listen to for your monthly insight into the many wide worlds of geek culture. I am your quarantine host, Carroll, and we're back for another anniversary episode. This is our 2-year. It feels great, and in honor of that, we decided to get the original cast back together for from the very first episode of the GBG relaunch. So joining me first is the man with the plan, Guthrie Schooner.
I'm here live with a cracked screen and one functioning earbud. Here for the big 2.0 anniversary.
20? We're 20 years?
2.0, 2.0.
Okay, good. Thank God. Because, you scared me for a minute there. I'm like, I don't think we've done that many, but honestly, it's hard to tell at this point.
The time skip hasn't happened just nearly enough yet.
Right. Oh, God.
It's going to be a 2021 thing.
I wish you could time skip 2020. And also joining me is GBG's favorite degenerate, Mr. Ronny Diaz.
Bro, I ain't even taken the fucking weights off yet. Once I take the weights off, I'm gonna go fast as fuck, boy! So far deep down into the degen hole that you won't ever see me again.
God, fast as fuck, boy. Is it just me, or have we not heard from Keemstar in a while? It's gotten suspiciously quiet.
He's plotting something.
I don't know, man. Because if
he's been suspiciously quiet, and Nephia's here has returned. There's something deeply wrong happening.
I guess that's either an upgrade or a lateral move. I don't know. But
it's an omen, a negative omen.
The black omen. But yeah. So moving on to the news of this month, Oh boy. So there's been for the month of June. It hasn't been I'd say there's been some significant stuff that's happened. And sort of the big mostly thing that's mostly consuming the discussion is that the PS5 was revealed.
Finally.
Yeah, we don't have a price. We don't have a price because
it's gonna be expensive, man.
Why would you Why would you let your customer make informed decisions?
No, you see, they're waiting. They're waiting because if you reveal the price at the reveal event and it's high, that's a lot of bad press overtaking the good press. They're just fucking planning the attack.
It's not going to be the PlayStation 3 Part 2 yet.
PlayStation... So the PS5, they're still calling it that. It looks like the box itself looks kind of weird. Just kind of like a weird alien.
It's Kirby.
A little bit.
Bro,
it looks like a router.
Did you guys see that one meme though? It was the thing turned upside down and it was colored like Cell from Dragon Ball, and it was just they gave it the spots. Yeah.
I mean, we know the new Xbox is going to be a refrigerator, and we know the PS5 is now going to be a router.
God. Can't wait for the Nintendo Switch Plus to be a fucking DVD player.
Oh god, that'd be lit.
No, I mean an actual one of those really maybe it has the DVD slot in it. But it won't plug into any TV that was manufactured like after 2009.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So what? It's only gonna have RCA connections.
It'll have something.
Or is it gonna have the old school coax cable you need?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh boy.
So so honestly, I don't think the design of the box matters all that much because it's just kind of gonna sit in a cabinet next to your TV, and preferably you wouldn't be looking at it for too long. Yeah. So Ronny, why don't you give us dem specs?
From what I remember, I think it's got an SSD in it. There's going to be a digital-only version and a physical-only version, and you can imagine how that's going to be for Christmas time. Sorry, just pulling up the specs. Let's see, an AMD Zen 2 based CPU with 8 cores at 3.5 gigahertz.
I'm gonna pretend I know what that means.
Yeah, all of this stuff is stuff that we're kind of pretending to know what it means, because even I don't.
It's fine. We're gamers.
I know what an SSD is, and that's actually pretty hype.
Yeah, let's see. Internal storage, 825 gigabyte SSD apparently. It's gonna have USB hard drive support, 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray drive, memory bandwidth 448.
Are we still doing the
gigabyte.
4K thing? I thought we stopped. I thought we
No,
agreed
dude,
that was done.
we're going like forward with 4K, man. 4K is not dead.
I thought they were gonna move on to 8K by now.
Don't do this, man. Don't do 8K. They've already given us 5G, and none of us know what to do with it.
8K is already like being worked on.
I know.
I know 8K exists, but my understanding is that's like mostly for theater stuff in high precision. It's like too expensive to make normally because you just cannot fit 8,000 pixels that easy.
Mm-hmm.
Home theaters with actual reels of film will happen before 8K happens.
Aside from that, like the rest is just technical jargon that we won't really know how to scale out. But basically, it's gonna be top of the line. If you've seen stuff that is going to be put onto PS5, if you watch the reveal trailer, you're gonna see exactly what the graphical fidelity is. And mind you, that's only the beginning of the console's lifespan, because holy shit, man, graphics get a lot better as time goes on. But also, I fear that there might just be a point where we're going to peak.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion, we've peaked already. The exciting thing about the PS5 is that it's all SSD.
That's
SSDs
true.
are just so insanely fast that like load times just won't exist. You won't have to walk down long hallways to get exposition in video games anymore.
It's gonna
because they're disguising a loading screen.
Bro, it's gonna
just
still
go
fucking
somewhere
happen.
and it happens.
God,
That's
I remember
terrifying.
I think one of like the funniest / like worst or best ways to have a loading screen, depending on how you look at it, was, you remember in the Deadpool game that came out like fucking years ago? There's
I
like
remember it.
Where he was like going up the elevator and he just like keeps singing, and then you're like, and he's just like singing in an elevator about like murder or whatever the fuck Deadpool was on that week. And so it was like oh, this is a cute, quirky scene, and then it goes on for too long, and you're like, my gamer senses are tingling. This is a fucking loading screen. God,
Yeah.
not gonna get me like
Personally,
that.
I'm gonna miss an Elder Scrolls 6. When I fast travel, it will just immediately put me there, and I won't see a loading screen informing me that I should, in fact, kill enemies if I want to survive.
Damn. What are you gonna do if you don't know?
I guess I'm just gonna live peacefully the rest of my days.
But no, let's talk about some of the games that were shown off. Not much of it is anything that really interests me, to be honest. Although I will say, that one basketball player sure was sweaty, though.
Actual in-game footage. Actual in-game footage.
Bro, NBA has been talking about the sweat physics for like 10 years at this point. I think it's time for like the NBA game makers to just admit that they have a sweat fetish.
Where's the fucking ball?
Sweatish.
Oh,
I'm too proud of that.
NBA 2022 going to be talking about the sweatish with no explanation.
Hey man. You just know that the reason that the fucking horse balls shrunk in Red Dead 2 was because someone was like, I'm willing to put the extra time in the office for this. It's important to me.
Oh god, yeah.
Imagine you're that guy who like put that in. You're years later, your sons grow up, you're playing it with them, and you're like, you see those balls on that horse, son? I did that. That was me.
Just imagine like an interview with the game structure. It's like, yeah, no, we didn't ask him to do that. It's just like that wasn't like really a part of our game design, but he was really, really, really insistent that we let him do this.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was in when we shipped it. We found out about it and we're like, well, shit, that's impressive.
But anyway, so yeah, NBA 2K, obviously. Interestingly, the WWE 2K games are taking a year off. Mostly because the last one was shit. If anyone remembers, that game was fucking atrocious. And so they're just like they're taking a year off of the 2K games, and like the developer, like the actual developer, like fucked off and quit, so they gotta deal with that. But no, just like a bunch of those sports games, Fortnite's coming because of course it is. Get ready for Grand Theft Auto 5, 3, or 4, or whatever it is. How many times they've re-released this Xbox 360 game?
But listen, we just have to admit that GTA 6 is never happening because they realized that they peaked with GTA 4, but they don't want to walk backwards.
Okay, so like they've done New York and they did LA.
They did LA twice.
They did LA twice.
They did LA twice. They did Miami once.
Chicago.
I guess they could do the Shy, but I feel like that's a less interesting setting. I think it'd be funny if they did fucking Atlanta.
Atlanta would be lit. I mean, to be honest, we say they did LA twice, but the thing is, they did LA twice, but with completely different cities.
Right.
Because Los Santos and San Andreas are both supposed to be LA, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Liberty City is supposed to be New York, but specifically like the part of New York that all the Russians are in.
Yeah.
Russian New York.
That's what GTA 4 owns. I just love casually breaking traffic laws while listening to Russian pop.
Another Hitman game. Sounds cool. People like those. I played one for a minute. I played like the free version. But like I think like the big thing that like there's like two like big things I think that really there's three big things, okay, that people are really like interested in this for, and that's the Ratchet and Clank thing. Rip to the devs that had to design that character.
I didn't think Ratchet and Clank would be coming back. I thought we reached the point with Ratchet and Clank that it was just one of those series that like doesn't receive, well, it received an ending, right? But the ending is just like, and the adventure continues and we never see it again. I really thought it was going to be one of those games, and then the Ratchet's just fucking back. Just showed up again.
Guess who's back?
How are you not dead?
Again.
It's been like, what, 2000... It's been like 19 years, dude! How are you not dead?
Sometimes people just live. Which
I should mention, I'm really happy that we're getting a new game, but I'm also like perplexed as to how this Lombax has survived 19 years.
Ratchet and Clank were both sent to prison for tax fraud.
That was Captain Quark.
They got life, but they paroled it down to 20.
So that's where they've been this whole time?
Yeah, they've been in federal lockup somewhere in Utah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. That's a very Ratchet and Clank thing. They'd be in space Utah.
Yeah. Also, RIP to female Ratchet and Clank thing. Because that poor character got looted immediately.
Yeah.
It's the internet.
It was bound to happen.
I would honestly, I'm only going to be surprised when someone working at one of these things is going to leak characters prematurely, so it happens.
Just get it out of the way.
Yep.
Build the hype train for the furries.
Speaking of Insomniac, can I just say, where the fuck is Sunset Overdrive 2? I've been waiting all this goddamn fucking time.
It's not happening.
I really want a new Sunset Overdrive game. Please.
Not happening.
Fuck.
Ronnie, you have hope. Sunset Overdrive Remastered is probably going to happen in like 2024, given the current rate of remasters.
It's not happening.
You said, Carroll, the more you say it's not happening, the chance of it happening goes up.
They really gave it out for free at the end.
That's good.
I know.
That means people know the game more.
Okay. Resident Evil 8.
Oh yeah.
Village, or Resident Evil V8 Village, or whatever the.
I love titles like that.
I used to hate them, but now I respect them. Like, remember Fant Four Stick?
Yeah, Fant Four Stick.
I really forgot that was a movie.
Oh, so did everyone else. Oh god. I think that's the funniest version of the. We'll put the number in the thing, so it's an 4, but an A.
Personally, a big fan of how they do it with the Fast and the Furious movies.
Yes. Furious 7, whatever. The Fate of the Furious is the best. The Fate.
The
I'm sad
F8,
that-
baby.
I'm sad that they didn't actually make it the official title, the F8 of the Furious.
Should have been.
Should have been. But no, that's Resident Evil. The last one, I remember people were really sour on those games for a while, but then the last one came out and they're like, it's survival horror and it's good. And it looks like a lot of fun.
Capcom's been on a good chain lately, except with fighting games.
Yeah. Wow. Wait, Ronnie, were you the one that said someone said that they thought that the dad from like the dad of the family in Resident Evil 7 reminded them of my dad?
I was exactly the one who said that. I remember I saw the trailer. I saw the Welcome to the Family son. I went to your house and I said to you, Carroll, your dad really reminds me of the dad from Resident Evil 7.
It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
It's really
Kind of a
a
messed up thing to
resemblance.
say.
It's a resemblance!
Okay.
Like, it's fucked up, yeah, but like, Carroll, can you say that I'm wrong?
I don't know. I suppose one of them is slightly less violent than the other. I'm kidding,
Oh.
I'm kidding, Dad. Please don't listen to this.
Carroll's dad listens to the podcast. Carroll has been found in a grave.
Oh. Yeah, and the big one. Oh, there's two like kind of like big ones. One of them is Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh yeah,
people liked the Horizon one.
Zero Dawn. Yeah.
Or, shouldn't this one be Horizon 1 then? Because the last one was Horizon 0. No, but it was called Horizon. This is called Horizon 2 Forbidden West. But it should be Horizon 1.
Look, don't question Sony numbers. Don't question Sony numbers.
If you start questioning Sony numbers, you get a Kingdom Hearts situation.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, did either of you play Zero Dawn?
Nope.
Again, no PS4.
All right.
I
it looks
have
cool.
a PS4, but
Yeah, both of them look cool. They look like my kind of thing. I like the robots, and I heard it's like a solid open world game. So I'd be interested in trying them, but I do not have any money.
Zero Dawn just doesn't look like my cup of tea. It like those kinds of games are not my my like forte, I guess.
You know what is your forte? Fucking Spider-Man PS4, and we're getting another one, baby.
Actually, is
it a game? Is it its own game? Is it a spin-off? Nope. Nobody knows. People are mad.
No, we know what it is.
What is it?
It's an expansion to a PS4 or not to a PS5 port of the original game.
Oh, cool.
It is just an expansion. I think it's
Still
gonna
rad.
be lengthy, but it's not like its own game. Yeah.
It's so rad that they're actually giving like Miles Morales like a game.
It's kind of awesome how the success of Spider-Verse has made Miles Morales just so popular as a character.
Well, I mean, he was already like really popular from like the comics, like over the years, from like the Ultimates run.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, but now he's like a mainstream recognizable character, the same way that like Jon Stewart as Green Lantern is.
Yeah, I think I'd say more so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Jon Stewart, it's just the Justice League show.
Right, it's the Justice League show.
Now that our generation is starting to be usurped, people are like, wait, there's a black Green Lantern? I'm like, God, you dumb Zoomer. You have no idea what you're saying. He was the OG. I don't care that the other people were first.
I liked Hal Jordan. And do you remember the one weird Hal Jordan cameo in the Justice League? Because he only showed up once because there was like a dimensional shifting episode where I think it was in Justice League Unlimited, where basically like Jon Stewart was just like chilling out, and like it was like Jon Stewart, Batman, Hawkman, but they kept like shifting through timelines, and so like Batman Beyond showed up in that episode, like Terry McGinnis was there, and just like teaming up to try and like stop like the dimensions from shifting together. And at one point, the dimensions shift over to the point where Jon Stewart turns into Hal Jordan. And it's like, and he's like, so he's just like walking there, and then he just turns white, and everyone's like, John, are you okay, buddy? And he's like, no, I'm Hal Jordan. I know what's going on. Let's just do this mission. And then he just like, and then it's just Hal Jordan for like 2 minutes until the dimensions shift back, and he's like, that was weird. Anyway, back with the episode.
So that wasn't my fucking imagination.
No, that happened.
Oh,
and it's also the inspiration behind Donald Glover's Atlanta. Donald Glover saw that and he was like, in my TV show, I will have Justin Bieber be inexplicably black.
Is that in that show?
Yeah. In Atlanta, there's a consistent theme of like whiteface and stuff. And one of the things is that Justin Bieber appears in the show, but he's a black guy. It's like an alternate universe. It's the weirdest thing.
Huh.
There's another episode that ends on, because one of the characters is a teacher, and she like goes into school, and someone's like, "Can you talk to this kid? He's doing whiteface." And she walks in, and it's just this black kid with like flour on his face, and then the episode just ends. And it's like, Donald Glover, what are you on?
Love that guy. You know, him and his brother were supposed to be the showrunners for that Deadpool show that got.
They were. It got axed.
Like not even acting it. They were gonna you had Donald Glover as your showrunner, and you said no.
Donald Glover as your showrunner, and the animation studio that does Archer as the animators, with the potential of getting another Deadpool show from Titmouse, and they rejected both of those.
God.
A Donald Glover Archer Deadpool show and a Titmouse Deadpool show, and both of them fell through. I'm so mad.
Bullshit.
This is why DC kicks Marvel's ass with cartoons.
Yeah, as I said, like I watched that Harley Quinn show pretty recently.
I heard it's good.
It was really good until like the last 5 minutes of the last episode.
Oh well, that sounds about right.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, when a show does a thing and it's like. Anyway, spoiler alert for the Harley Quinn show. I'm not going to say any of the characters of like who it's referring to, but it ends in a wedding episode, and then like the wedding falls through, and then like one of the people in the wedding ends up getting with another character like immediately after, and you're like, I'm like, you needed more time to get over that. Like that was like a big part of your life, and that was like a big theme of the whole show. You needed more time. I don't know, but overall, I'd say it's a good watch, but just like it doesn't really like. Twisted its ankle on the landing a little bit, but that's
I see.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that was.
Where's my goddamn car?
Where's my goddamn car, Bruce? I love that scene so much.
So good.
But yeah, you know, PS5 seems interesting. To be honest, I'll probably get a PlayStation. Like the next console I get will main console will probably be a PlayStation, just because like having an Xbox when all my friends seem to have PlayStations has been more trouble than it's worth.
I can relate.
So yeah,
if I were to get a console, I'd probably get the PS5, mostly just because I like how it looks, and also PlayStation exclusives have just interested me more at the moment than any of the Xbox exclusives. Like Halo Infinite, I don't need, since Halo 3 is on the PC now. You know.
Wait, we have exclusives?
Allegedly.
You have Halo Wars?
Could have fooled me.
Oh yeah, you have Halo Wars 2, bro.
You do have Halo Wars 2.
Thank God. What would I do without that? Fuck you and your God of War Game of the Year bullshit. I got fucking...
You have Halo Wars 2, bro!
Yeah, you got some exclusive guns in Destiny 2.
Put me out of my misery. But okay, moving on from that, if we were even really talking about that, which we weren't for the most part.
I mean, that's just this podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Smash Brothers, people like that, right? That's the best segue of my career.
My impression from Smash Brothers fans is nobody actually likes Smash Brothers. They like Frame Data and a few other things.
Yeah. People, they just really like. Yeah, it's just Smash Bros. Fans seem to really like every game that's not in Smash Brothers more than they like Smash Brothers. And that's
Smash Brothers fans be like, "Hey, bro, you want to play some Melty Blood?" And then it's like, "Nah, you want to play some Smash 4?" And they're like, "Nah, game's trash."
Man, Smash Bros has become the toilet fighter. Okay, but prove to me you haven't played Smash Bros while taking a shit.
I can neither confirm nor deny this.
Oh yeah. God, I should do that.
We got Switches, bro. We can.
Yeah, we can. It can be like the J-Stars game for the DS.
Technically, we've been able to shit while playing that game since the Wii U, or because we had the
3DS.
Because we had the 3DS version, and if you had like your fucking TV close enough to your fucking toilet, then yeah, maybe like your box, that maybe the fucking Wii U gamepad could reach. But no, anyway, Smash announced they announced, they told us that it was an ARMS character a while back, and then they've been tickling our balls with it for because we haven't had like a new Smash character in like what, 6 months? Not that long, but like it's been a long ass time. And so they finally showed us that it was Min Min. And Twintel fans everywhere had to put their pens down because that was the main help. But hey, character seems really interesting from what I saw. I haven't played as Min Min myself, but I've played against Twintel for a few games. Weird ass character. Because it's like she doesn't have like traditional special moves. She just kind of like she can. It's like one of the like her jab controls one of her arms and her special buttons control the other arm. So it's really weird.
I haven't played Smash, especially online, in forever. But I will say, just watching Min Min gameplay, I'm like, this is kind of whack.
Yeah.
That's how it felt for all of the DLC characters. I've been like, this is sick, but it's also kind of whack. But it's like, especially Min Min.
Yeah. The character I have the most fun with since the DLC is Hero, just because I'm evil.
Hero is very whack, but in an extremely epic way.
I know, right? It's so based. Hero's
exactly.
So based.
When Hero hits Hatchet Man, it's like, ooh, this is some.
I love getting thwacked on people. Whack and thwack. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
But no, Min Min's weird. I think this is this is another one because like every time a fucking Smash game comes out, or every time like a new Smash character is like, this is the new character that has the longest reach of any Smash character ever. Because this character, like, we really didn't think it could get worse than the Belmonts, but it sure can.
Sakurai saw that people focusing on Final Destination made melee characters dominate over ranged characters. So he just decided to combine melee and ranged characters to get characters with ungodly reach.
Yeah. It's like, although I think there is a hitbox on like the fucking spring, so that'll be a problem. It's like how it's like how it's always funny whenever like a piranha plant does its like long neck like bite thing, but then you get right above them, so you spike them through the floor even though they were in the middle of the stage. But no, Min Min seems really like very technical, but not in the way that a Smash character is normally technical. Seems like a fun addition. Anything you guys want to say about Min Min?
I find it really awesome that Springman was the kind of iconic generic character of ARMS as a game, but Min Min just had such a sick design that she represented the game, and so she became the Smash character.
Right.
It's like, imagine if people loved like freaking like Blanca so much, Brazilians not included when I'm saying this.
Of course.
That, like, he became the obligatory like crossover pick instead of Ryu. Like, it's like just fucking epic.
Yeah, I think this is the first time, and this is also the first character to break the rule that everyone had, that were like, if you're a spirit, you can't. If you're already a spirit, you can't be a DLC fighter.
Smash fans love making up rules that Sakurai would never follow, because Sakurai's rules are whatever the execs tell me to do, I do.
Yeah. Remember when everyone was like, Roy can't come back because there's a fucking like the Roy from Fire Emblem can't come back in Smash 4 because there's a fucking alt for Bowser Jr. that's Roy Koopa, and you can't have two characters with the same name because that's a rule that we decided.
God. I do remember that, actually. The days of Smash 4 speculation were dark times.
Oh my god. The days of Smash 4 were dark times, looking back on it.
I mean, yeah, but I still had fun.
I like that game a lot.
I love Smash 4. It holds a special place in my heart as being so bad I love it, but not as special of a place in that heart as Brawl, because Brawl just fucking sucks, but I love it.
Oh, Brawl's great. Talking about
Brawl with random stages and items might be one of the best worst experiences in all of video gaming.
God, what are you talking about? Diddy Kong has 2 bananas. Fuck it, go with it.
Quote Scott the Waz. I love Super Smash Brothers Brawl. This shit's straight bubonic.
That's a good place to.
Scott the Waz.
Scott the Waz. That's a good place to end this topic. But Scott the Waz is an interesting a way to bring that up, because we have a gamer who's almost as if not even more epic than Scott the Waz himself, about to drop some fiery hot takes. So Guthrie's hot takes is coming up right now.
That is mine, and those are my takes.
Welcome to another episode of Guthrie's Hot Takes, currently being recorded in Guthrie's parents' backyard. Once again, I have procrastinated and I haven't written a script or even a hot take, but I think you might listen to him. Check out my dog. Hey, doggy. I don't know if you actually picked up anything, but you sniffed the phone. There's also chickens here. Yeah, I just scared one. But, yeah, I just actually used up all of my comedy bits of shoving the phone at animals and seeing what happens. Since I was planning on going on a big old rant about how I procrastinated, and this is the 3rd time I've had to reschedule this, and how Carroll's gonna kill me, and then I forgot to say that. And I'm probably also not going to be able to edit this good because I don't have a good computer, so I'm sure I'm just going to slap some really annoying music on the back. The dog is currently trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do, but he's trying to get at the chickens, and the chickens aren't having it. It's actually really fascinating. It's like pretending to not care as soon as they start walking by, and then he's like trying to dig under their little fence. It's hilarious. Yeah, they don't like the phone, the chickens. They're a suspicious bird. They don't like anything. Well, that's Guthrie's hot take. Bye.
And we're back. Thanks, Guthrie. I don't have a house. It's been burned by the fiery pits that have come out of your mouth.
That sucks, but I just lost all of my power energy, and I can't beat the fighting tournament now.
Oh no!
Don't worry, I'll take up your spot.
No, don't. I'm about to have a mid-tournament training arc. We're fine.
Okay. Great. Okay, perfect. You got it.
I was about a job like no tomorrow.
Flashbacks.
I'm about to learn the very powerful technique of an unbuffered take in the 3 days I have before my next fight.
Oh boy, you're giving me flashbacks to the fucking Dark Tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho.
That's what I'm referencing, because I'm reading the Dark Tournament right now in the manga.
Oh, it's so good!
It's really epic how every round of fights ends with them learning some powerful new technique to get to the next one. Like, bro, you could have just trained at the start. You had 2 months.
Every Dragon Ball fight ever. Like, bro,
Dragon Ball fights be like, we just had 5 years to train for this new villain who we were just warned of, has to immediately become stronger than you've ever been within the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like you really couldn't get that shit done. Like, I get the hyperbolic time chamber has like accelerated like conditions, so it's like you get better gains. But like, dog, you had 3 years to prepare for those androids. You can't. Like, Cell, I get.
To be fair, they did prepare for the androids, and then they just turned out to be pushovers, and then they just fucked up.
Yeah, I guess.
Thanks, Trunks.
God.
Also that Goku didn't take his goddamn medicine.
He didn't.
Why?
Fun fact is that because obviously Android 19 and 20 were supposed to be like the main antagonists of the arc. You probably caught this because you read the manga. When Trunks goes back in time the first time and fucks up Frieza, and he's like telling Goku everything, he specifically says, "Yeah, androids 19 and 20 are killing everyone in the future."
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh no, they weren't. That's 17 and 18. Never mind."
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, I fucked up. I got the wrong number."
It's so funny. But anyway,
travels back in time with no extenuating circumstances. That means you have like limited time. Shit, I really just said it wrong.
I don't think he did. I think it was just Toriyama fucking up.
Well, it's well known that Toriyama basically wrote the arc one way, and the editor kept revising it. So that's really what happened. But I prefer to think that Trunks just traveled back to the future, and then Bulma was like, hey Trunks, you told them that, you told them at 16 and 17 were messing everything up, right? And he was like, yeah. Oh no. And then he didn't travel 5 minutes back in time to remind his past self, but instead,
I always assume he just went straight from fucking up Frieza, like right to the fucking. Never mind, getting off topic. Moving on to our favorite segment, recommendations is here.
We won't be talking about Dragon Ball or Yu Yu Hakusho, by the way.
No, that was you got that shit for free. Both of those. But you know what? I think I'll start us off this time because I haven't done that in a while. I actually, it's been a while since I've seen this was like I watched this like last month, but I was already like super into Pokemon, so I kind of wanted to like focus on that moreover. I did a brief segment on it, but then I ended up cutting it out because it didn't make sense. But what I'm doing now is I'm finally gonna talk to you about. I'm so excited because I've been waiting to do this for so long. Somehow we haven't talked on this show at all about Avatar: The Last Airbender and the Legend of Korra, which I find weird as fuck that we haven't brought that up before.
They're epic.
It's so fucking good. Like defining cartoon of our of our age growing up.
Hell yeah.
And it's just like, and when it dropped on Netflix, it sort of like revived the fandom for a while because everyone was either rediscovering it and then new people were getting into it. And so it's, it really drummed up a lot of support. And so I was one of the people that rewatched it. And once I was done with Avatar: The Last Airbender, I went right to Korra because I was like, because it'd been even longer since I'd seen that. And so I don't want to spoil too much because I assume a lot of people who are listening to this have probably seen it. But if you haven't, you should because I'm recommending it. And that's what this segment's about. But if you haven't, I'm not gonna give too much plot details away. But aside from like the general premise, of course, of like this sort of Asian influenced old world with these with like the ability to bend the four elements and being the one avatar that can master all four, who fucked off at the beginning of a war, but then they find him and he's a kid and he's got to learn, and it's great. Because the action and animation is excellent, but I think the show's strongest suit is probably its humor and its character work, because it really because the humor really only works if you sort of like get to know the characters really well, and they're sort of and sort of the way that they interact with each other is always very 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 fun, and they do that a lot in Korra as well. So the main character Aang is he's an airbender, and he's sort of grown up as like a monk his whole life. He's a young kid. He's been through a lot, but it's right at the beginning of the story he's pretty young. And so he's sort of this sort of free-spirited, nomadic kind of. He doesn't take a lot very seriously, and it's sort of his in a lot of ways it's sort of his coming of age story, but it's like framed in such an interesting way with like the dynamics of Zuko, who's like the crown prince of the Fire Nation, that's going up against our heroes, and so his dealings with the abuse that he's had, and his uncle trying to sort of like seeing a better version of himself that he can't see, and the two main sidekicks to our main character, Katara and Sokka, both having their own insecurities and familial issues, and it's all written beautifully. And it's such a fucking funny show, man. Like, there's so many lines in it that are just like instantly quotable. You can just watch. It's one of those things that like once you see it, like there's like certain lines that like will never leave your head. Like I'm not going to give any context to these, but I think my two favorite lines in the whole show are the very iconic "That's rough, buddy." It's, if you know, you know. And my personal favorite, which is a really underrated line in my opinion, is "Baby, you're my forever girl." I'm not going to say anything about that joke, but oh my god, it's a really fun show. And Korra, in itself, it gets a lot of hate from from fans of the original series, but I feel like a lot of that is unfair because it's a really really good show. And it does a really great job of building its own identity as both a sequel to the original and really having its own characters that are really, oh man. Korra's my favorite character. She's the avatar after Aang. It's set in a different time. And she's my favorite.
Avatars are in a cycle. After the Airbender is the Waterbender, so she's a Waterbender.
Yeah. So she's a water. She's from the Water tribe, and after that, it'd be like an Earth and then Fire, and then it just continues in the cycle forever. But what's cool? Korra's my favorite character of the whole franchise. Just because, man, I don't know. I don't really. There's so much I want to say, but I feel like I shouldn't because the aspects of this show that are like well praised have been praised over and over again for years. And so it's kind of hard to
it's
say
hard
anything
to
about
speak
it.
originally about either shows. Right, in the case of Avatar, because it's been praised for so long, and in the case of Korra, kind of because of that, and kind of because it's still such a minefield of like discussion.
Yeah. Korra had a really rough just sort of launch, I guess.
Launch and then the rest. I mean, this was a show that like Nickelodeon dumped the final 5 episodes online.
Didn't they
just pulled it from TV?
Dump the final season online?
I think it was.
The entire final season was online only.
Yeah, the whole season 4. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a rough run.
Yeah, it did have a rough run. It was actually
because when I was younger and I was watching it when it was airing, it really frustrated me. But like I was also a dumb 13-year-old, so no judgment on the show's quality. But
No, absolutely not.
That's the breadth of my experience with it. That's like, you go online, it's like, people really, people get nasty about Korra, man. Like, bro, it's like, chill.
Yeah. It's
Started in Africa.
to be honest, I think season 2 of Korra is probably the worst season of the show, but of like either show. But like even then, it's
season
worth
2
a
was
lot.
when I dropped it when I was 13 years old.
Oh well, wow.
I think you know what moment I'm talking about when they totally jumped the shark in season 2, and even 13-year-old me was like, okay, this is too much.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. But no, season 3 and 4 are both very good.
I've heard they're good, and I'm curious about watching them. But like anytime I want to, 13-year-old me comes back and he's like, but remember how season 2? Remember what happened then? And I'm like,
Okay, and season 2 is like bad in comparison to the rest, but it's not that bad. And they, there's like bits in season 2 that are great. But I will say,
I like the start of season 2 and how they changed locations. That I really dug, because it's like that's like the show. It's not all in the city.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'll say. Season 4, very early on in season 4 has the best episode of maybe the entire franchise, but definitely they did another Alone episode, but it was Korra Alone instead of Zuko Alone, which Zuko Alone's what a lot of people think is the called the best episode of the whole series. I'll talk about my favorite episode of the whole series in a minute, because it's in The Last Airbender. But and it's not very spoilery. It's very it's quite plot irrelevant. They did like it deals with issues of like serious like psychological trauma and like dealing with expectations, and it's so good. But I guess just to wrap up about Avatar and Korra, I'll talk about my favorite episode of either of the shows, and that is what I like to refer to affectionately as the Footloose episode from season 3 of The Last Airbender. So not to give anything major away, because this is, like, as I said, this doesn't really matter to the plot, but the Aang sort of finds himself in a sort of smaller Fire Nation town, and he ends up befriending some of the local kids who are just like, it's sort of like there's a lot of comparisons to the to sort of like World War II era, like less so much Nazism as like Japanese imperialism. Because it's not it's very common knowledge that Japan was thought of as like the major influence for the Fire Nation, and just sort of like the battleships and the way that the things are sort of like portrayed, and so they get up in class every day and sort of salute to their leader. And the thing is that dancing is forbidden because of course it is. They're not allowed to dance. And so the gang.
I saw this episode when my roommates a few months ago were rewatching it, and it was a good episode.
It's my personal
Footloose.
Yeah. I'm saying no. I'm saying yeah. This is this is what I said. This is the Footloose episode.
Yeah.
And so Aang ends up being like. So he ends up throwing like a cave party, and the soundtrack to the show is banging. By the way, I'll just throw that out there. So the music rocks. But he's like, everyone's like, yeah, there's no dancing in our society, and he's like, actually, like 100 years ago, you guys had like so many days, like your culture is so much more like diverse than you have any idea because of the fucked up regime. Like you have all this history that you don't know about, and he like shows them how to dance, like all of these like different dance moves, and he like gets these kids to like let loose, and then he invites one of the other characters to dance with them, and they do this whole like completely badass martial arts inspired, like it's almost like they're fighting and dancing at the same time. And it's animated breathtakingly well. It's gorgeous. It's one of the best animated parts of the whole thing. Just like the characters. And it's a great character moment for Aang, who spends the whole show as this sort of like quiet, like awkward kind of kid who doesn't really know how to, deal with women, till like all of a sudden he's like busting out these dance moves, and there's all these like girls giggling and like about him in the corner. I'm like, holy shit, when did this guy get game? Like, this motherfucker's this dude's smooth as shit. What the hell happened?
He was having to grow hair.
It was having to. It was the hair.
When you grow hair, you become you get so much game, you don't know what to do with it.
God, 99% of Aang's sex magic was in his hair the whole time.
So wait, why did he move it to his chin later?
The chin.
You don't want the answer to that.
Are you dissing the chin strap?
I'm questioning. No, I'm questioning. Okay, if the top of his head has that power, what does the chin have?
You don't want the answer to that.
You really don't.
It's something involving when Aang had to get all of his chakras awakened.
Yeah. No, like there's like so many different Eastern philosophical and spiritual philosophies in it. I can't sing its praises enough. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix, and you will not regret it. So go out and watch The Last Airbender and Korra if you just because if you want to really complete it, because Korra's great and people don't give that as much love as they should. Anyway, that's me. I've rambled on for long enough. So watch Avatar and Korra. All right. So Guthrie, you want to go next?
Yeah. So my recommendation, as I think it's always been actually with this show, is a manga. It's if you know about Vinland Saga, which is the story of a Viking boy turned pacifist, almost at this point revolutionary leader. Mm-hmm. Really great manga. This is what the author did before that. It's called Planets, and it's essentially a manga about a guy who's an astronaut. And his job as an astronaut, it's the future. So being an astronaut is kind of normal. It's like working on an oil rig or something where you're away from society, but you make a ton of money, but it still sucks. Anyway, His job as an astronaut is to clean up space trash. They literally just orbit the Earth and find space trash and bring it to their space station. Because by this point, space travel has been so common that it's hard to have satellites and stuff operating because some ancient screw from a NASA mission might hit it in the computer and destroy it, right?
Right.
So that's their job. It's this really interesting, it's sci-fi, but it's extremely the term is hard sci-fi, where it's based off of realistic science, which sounds very boring because it's ooh, what happens? But it's really interesting because it's very character driven, and it's about how why the characters care so much about going to space if what they're doing is the tedium of just picking up trash. Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting series, and there's even some action in it, and you can see where the author got his skills at drawing action with Vinland Saga, which is very action heavy in the first part. It's oh yeah, this makes sense. I haven't finished reading it, so I can't judge it as a whole, but it's just this neat little exposition on the philosophy of space travel and exploration, and it's just it's a grown-up manga, but not in the sense that there's blood and guts and shit,
Right.
It's just very hard set in a realistic tone, I guess.
It's a realistic tone, and it's just very thinking about stuff,
Yeah.
I hate to say cerebral because it sounds nerdy, but it's absolutely very nerdy. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's a fun series. It's got the good planning and paneling and the good illustrations.
When did it come out?
It came out in it was the late 90s, I think, late 90s, and I think it ended in the early 2000s.
Cool.
And then a few years later, Yukimura, that's the author's name. He came up with Vinland Saga, which will not goddamn end. We're not even close to wrapping up Vinland Saga, and I'm genuinely worried about this guy.
Oh,
Been
no.
running for like in like a little bit. It's gonna be close to freaking like 20 years of continuous publication. It's not like a Berserker Hunter x Hunter situation where he even takes breaks. Like, he's just been chipping away at it. It's just long.
One Piece, is that you?
It's a monthly series is the thing. So it's
Okay.
like 12 chapters a year, one volume. It's not that far to like, it's far to finish a story when it.
Right.
So, one day it'll be complete, and then Yukimura, being the absolute mad genius that he is, will probably create something that's even better. Yeah, Planets. If you want another manga recommendation from the same time period, then read Ping Pong, which is also very philosophy heavy, but it's about two kids playing ping pong, and it's like honestly just freaking epic. There's a Chinese character who's there, and he's like, "Shit, I'm better at ping pong than all of these Japanese people," and then he isn't, and it's freaking awesome.
Didn't Ping Pong get like I feel like that got an anime adaptation, or that
It did get an anime adaptation.
Shit.
Ping Pong, the animation, which is directed by the Aizuken guy.
Really?
Yeah. And the thing about Ping Pong, both as an anime and a manga, is it has this really distinctive, like, sketchy, messed up looking art style, and just totally keeps it, and it's like, hell yeah.
Man,
solid anime and even solider manga. Both, yeah, that's my 2-for-1 recommendation is Ping Pong and Planets.
Sweet.
There we go. 5 minutes for a recommendation. I hit a world record.
Fuck me, dude. I went on for fucking like 25 minutes. Jesus.
To be fair, it's about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I feel like this next one's gonna go on a little long because this is something. This is like actually might be a 3-for-1.
Although unfortunately we are out of time, so thank you everybody. See you for another year.
Fuck you. Sit down. Sit down. You're in my domain now.
All right, bring us home, Ronnie.
All right. So we are in the domain of gotcha. I have now tied Carroll down to a chair and put tape over his mouth. He's in my world now. And here's the thing. It's slightly Guthrie's too, because he's playing this as well. It has been I
played a bit of it because I installed it this morning. And I'm like, this is utter nonsense, but I like it.
Yeah, it has been a long, arduous year. But SINoALICE finally released in the West, literally at, I was able to download it 8 p.m. yesterday, and its servers went up 3 hours later. And
damn, it's really that early?
It's real, yeah. We are not even at 24 hours of the game being up.
Last time I was this early, we weren't all dying from coronavirus.
Boo!
Sorry, I just had to do the insert YouTube comment joke here.
Oof. But so just a little bit of background with the game. The game's directed by Yoko Taro, which really, really fucking shows.
Yeah.
This game does not fucking let you go without reminding you this is a Yoko Taro game just because of how weird it is.
Yeah. Shout out to the time that Ronnie asked me to show him Yoko Taro's face, and I permanently ruined it.
You did ruin it. I really haven't forgotten.
He asked. And
I did ask.
Our friend Dre, who's a fellow contributor to the show, you guys know him, was like he was like there, and he's like, "Don't show me. I want the mystery alive, because he's just gonna look like a Japanese guy." But then Ronnie's like, "I want to know." And then the second I showed it to him, he's like, Take me back to the mystery. I've made a mistake."
Yeah, actually,
this makes me really want to know what Yoko Taro looks like.
Don't.
I
am Googling it right now.
Don't do it. No.
Oh.
Damn.
That sucks.
Another one. We lost another one, Chief.
Alright, anyway, so yeah, SINoALICE had it's been in development hell for the goddamn stupidest reason for the past year. because this was supposed to release legit last year. It was ready. It was done. It was ready to go. It was the day before its launch, delayed indefinitely because of a merger with or an internal merger within Nexon.
Okay.
So
Messed up.
that and the parts that were getting merged was the team that was translating this motherfucker.
Oof.
Yeah, which ended up causing the 1-year delay. In which,
That checks out.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate. We actually thought it was almost never coming out until just a couple months before they were like, "Yay, yeah, this game's coming out this day."
So how did they? So did they just get the new corporate overlords to let them finish?
Anyway, so wait, what did you say?
Never mind.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So SINoALICE release. I'll say this: the game is fine. It's pretty standard. The gacha's all right. Well, whatever. But really, what's interesting is the world, because this game is set. All the characters are fairy tale characters, / some folklore in there, but really there's so much less of that than there are fairy tale characters. You have Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, Gretel, etc., etc., but they're all sort of twisted in a sense.
Right.
For example, like Little Red Riding Hood is violent as shit.
God. Giving me flashbacks to fucking Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with BB Hood busting out a machine gun.
Kinda, yeah, except they'll beat you with their bare fists.
Ooh.
Yeah, Red Riding Hood in this game is a little whack.
Yeah. And they all have one goal, and that is that they must kill the other characters in order to revive their author for their own specific reasons.
That's clever.
Yeah, and Cinderella, I like some of them, because Cinderella's like, I'm going to revive my author so that he rewrites my story to where I'm on top, because fuck you for what you put me through.
Interesting.
That's epic.
So it's sort of meta.
It is sort of meta, and I've read some of, or I've looked into some of what happens later, and it gets really weird in the way Yoko Taro gets really weird.
I mean, it's already weird from the start. The start of every level has one line of dialogue. It's like, damn, this is absolute nonsense. Sounds cool though. And then you go in for a minute of gacha gameplay.
Yeah. And just there's a lot of atmosphere in this game. The aesthetic, it just leans really hard into. I'm really a big fan of the sort of game masters, Para and Noya, because they are just two puppets.
They sound like Animal Crossing characters, though.
Gee, I wonder if there's a pun in there somewhere.
Oh no, that's actually that was the intention even in Japanese.
I know, I'm being epic.
Oh yeah.
We're all epic.
Yeah, though it's this world that Yoko Taro has built is super interesting and has a lot of lore behind it. There's stories. As you level up characters, you unlock their character stories. As you level up weapons, each weapon has a story. So you can the more you invest into these mechanics, the more you will get lore wise and everything like that. It's just right now, since we're in the super early stages, we don't really have too much to go off of. And as I said, I've looked into some of the later stuff, but there's not that much information on it because of the fact, if you go onto the SINoALICE wiki, you will see on the front page the people who were contributing to that wiki just straight up gave the fuck up. They gave the fuck up 3 years ago.
F's in the chat, boys.
And the game is still running, yeah,
Yeah.
in its original server. So there's a lot of content that we don't really have that much information on. And again, as I said, it gets really weird. I really wish I could mention it, but goddamn, I don't want to spoil it because it's just it sounds fucking whack, and I'm excited to get to that point, even though it'll take a long while. Yeah. This, I guess, bottom line, this really, if you're interested in Yoko Taro's works and don't really care about the quality of the game, because as I said, the game itself is just all right. The gameplay is
If you're interested in a gacha with some neat art in a really interestingly bizarre story, then SINoALICE is your friend.
Yeah, SINoALICE will definitely be for you.
Is that it?
That's pretty much it. As I said, the game's only been out for about 20 or like 21 hours or something like that.
As of recording.
Right. So we really don't have much to go off of, and I haven't read all the character stories to, or not all the character stories, all the stories to like fully get a grasp and tell you everything about these characters. But it's really just their very interesting takes on these characters and I love when things like when a story takes something familiar and twists it in a dark way. And I think that's done really well and in a very interesting like way that you wouldn't expect, because as I said, with the Cinderella one, that's fucking clever. That's like, I don't think anyone would have expected vindictive Cinderella.
Yeah. No, it actually what you're describing sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, no, it's
my
really...
my favorite one is Sleeping Beauty, which is I want to revive my author so he can write it. So actually, I'm still sleeping because I'm just tired.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's chaotic, tired energy.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, that's SINoALICE, or at least why I'm recommending SINoALICE. That's pretty much it.
Cool. All right. I guess that's it for this episode of the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Special thanks to our producers, Dre Best, Ronnie Diaz, and Sky Heemscher for making the show possible. Thanks to our lead editor, Guthrie Schooner, and thank you to Jack Wernimer for helping us design the thumbnail. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment, follow us on Twitter, and join our Discord. The links to all that will be down in the description below. Be sure to keep it locked right here for brand new episodes of the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast every single goddamn month. But until then, take it easy, nerds.